The Federated Hospitality Association of South Africa has welcomed the 6-month extension for the Zimbabwean exemption permit. The Department of Home Affairs has moved the date to the 30th of June 2023. FEDHASA has weighed in on the matter, saying the cancellation of permits may have an impact on businesses. We're joined by the organization's chairperson, Rosemary Anderson. Rosemary, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Of course, there has been a lot of lobbying around, the initial expiry date, which was the end of 2022. Your response to this 6-month extension?
Yes, Cassie, we're very glad that it's been extended because we hope this additional time period will allow everyone to come to an amenable agreement whereby the industry isn't negatively affected, that there isn't a humanitarian problem, and that everything can be resolved. So we're really happy it just gives us a bit more time.
Of course, when we talk about the hospitality industry, Rosemary, it's one of the sectors that's been largely accused of employing undocumented migrants, and many of those operating getting away with not following labor law in the country.
Kathy, I do know about that allegation. However, what we're talking about here is we're talking about 178,000 Zimbabweans who are legally here in South Africa. They have done everything legally. They're not the illegal Zimbabweans here. So for over a decade now, they've been legally allowed to stay in South Africa. They've found jobs. They've sometimes married South Africans. They've got South African children. It's a little bit like you and I, Cassie, going to, say, the United Kingdom to try to make a better life for ourselves. And the government there has allowed us to stay there for well over a decade. And we've married a local person. We've got children. Our children have adopted the nationality. They've got the passport. They are, for all intents, British. And then all of a sudden, the British government says to us, no, sorry, but now you've got to go back. There is definitely a humanitarian thing. And that expression, where you stand is where you sit. In hospitality, we are very much, almost every day working in hospitality is like a team building day. We all work very hard together. And we do not, where you come from, what your religion is, your race, your creed, that doesn't matter. So the people we work with are family, and we know those people. So it doesn't matter that they're from Zimbabwe. The fact that they are legally in South Africa, 178,000 of them, and now are just all of a sudden being asked to leave, that's what we have got a problem with.
Rosemary, that's fair enough, but I think I was pointing you here to the broader problem that government is trying to deal with in many different ways, whether rightfully or wrongfully so. And the key issue that has been raised around the hospitality industry is exactly around the hiring of individuals that don't have the proper documentation to be in the country.
Kathy, at FEDHASA, we definitely feel that everyone should only employ people who are legally here. We totally believe in following that. Every country in the world has got borders, has got immigration laws, and we need to do exactly the same thing. And I think this is where the problem has happened, that people have been able to freely come in the country, and now we actually sit with the problem. So that definitely needs to be resolved. And
what is the work that you as FEDHASA have done to try and understand just how extensive this problem has been? Because by and large, as it stands right now, much of it is it's hearsay, and it really is quite anecdotal based on what people see and hear when they're visiting some of the institutions that will be owned by some of your members.
It really is anecdotal, and I think that's what the problem is. It's been totally uncontrolled. So I don't think even our government, even Stats South Africa, I don't think anyone knows how many illegal immigrants we have in our country. However, this whole debate about the Zimbabwean exemption permit is only about 178,000 Zimbabweans. They are documented. So that is all FEDHASA is talking about. We're not talking about undocumented people because we believe everyone should be documented. So we're only talking about the 178,000 people who are here legally, who have lived here legally, who have paid SARS, who paid UIF, who pay workmen's compensation, all the rest of it, and who now all of a sudden have to leave the country. And it's the same thing, Cassie, if you had a co-worker that you got on very well with and he was very kind to you, if they all of a sudden had to leave the country, you would also feel.
I understand what you're saying, Rosemary, and I think that's why I'm making the distinction to say the broader problem that has been raised around the hospitality sector is those establishments that are hiring people who are undocumented and for all intents and purposes don't have the necessary papers to be in the country, let alone be working. And I'm asking you, as an association, what are you doing to try and understand the scale of this problem in your industry? Because anecdotally, it's one of the industries that is pointed to as being highly problematic and as being a big offender where this is concerned.
Yes, so Kathy, that wouldn't be under our jurisdiction to actually even find out the numbers, because that would be something that Home Affairs should be doing and Department of Labor should be doing, because that's their job to actually mandate that all businesses actually only employ people who actually should be allowed to be employed in South Africa. So that's not something we could step into the role of, because that's definitely defined by those two departments.
So it's not an issue that you take up with your members at all?
Oh, it is absolutely, Kathy. It's not only that. There are many, many other areas, from employment equity to the labor laws to liquor licenses. Owning a hospitality business in South Africa is very, very red tape orientated. So this is just one thing. There are many, many areas that as FEDHASA, we actually provide all the information in order for them to actually be compliant. And we definitely push that people should only employ, our members only employ people who are actually legally allowed to work in South Africa.
FEDHASA Chairperson Rosemary Anderson, we'll leave it there for tonight. Thanks for your time.